All right, so with your color, we're going to do it in 2 steps. We're going to first do a balayage, and that's just going to give you lighter, blonder pieces around your face and brighten up some of the ends. We're going to add dimension with 3 different tones and 3 different colors, all in one. So I have Light Master, and I'm using the clay additive because I'm doing hair painting. And we're just going to mix this all together. So usually when I do a balayage, I'll do the front 2 quadrants and then I'll work into the back. So I'm going to work on this side, divide the hair, just hold that back. So I work from a diagonal to the parietal ridge, and then from that point, since I want to add dimension, I'll go into more of this placement. You want to take your sections fairly large. We don't want to do baby lights, we want a little bit more dimension. So if your sections are too small, they'll end up being too blended. Always hold the hair nice and tight so you have a nice canvas to paint on. And I'm going to concentrate really highlighting her face frame to give her that brightness. Usually for the first section around the face, I will put a foil down just so that this hair and the product doesn't touch her skin. And then after that, I'll be using a plastic film. So the reason why I'm using film, I want to maintain the moisture level in the product. Plus, when you're using the plastic, this is going to hold in more body heat versus just the aluminum. Okay, again, my second subsection, working on that diagonal. And I'm going to take one more small section right here below the parietal ridge. Comb that hair out nice and smooth. Hold the hair tight. And then when you're brushing, just be light-handed. Don't be too aggressive because we're only painting on the surface. She has a lot of blonde in her hair already. I just need to accent some pieces versus lightening the whole thing. By holding the hair on the top of my hand, this will keep my fingers nice and clean so when I go to touch the other hair, I don't transfer any of the lightener on hair that I don't want. And I'm gonna lay it down and then put another sheet of plastic. So just lightly put it over. And then usually I'll just tuck this under so it keeps away from the rest of the hair. Okay, so I do 3 sides here, and then I'll do 3 subsections on the opposite side, and then we'll do the top. All right, so I'm taking my last subsection. From the parietal ridge underneath, I did diagonal sections. Once I got above the parietal ridge, because I want to create more dimension, almost like a ribboning effect with my highlights and lowlights, I want to take everything so that when the hair falls, you're gonna see that ribbon lay down. And then in the back area here, I just did it on a pivot. So everything was done more or less vertically versus horizontal. So here's my last subsection. And that's the last section, and then I'll just put my film right over the top of that. And we'll let it process for about 30 minutes. All right, now that the lightening process is finished, we're gonna go in and create some dimensional color. I'm gonna create a base shadow, and then I'm gonna have 3 different formulas to give us that dimensional blonde. So for the dimensional colors, once I have the base shadow in, I'm gonna go in with a triangular shaped subsection. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, you're just gonna go in randomly and just kind of create a triangle shape. The reason for the triangle shape is because if you think about it, the top of the triangle is going to spill out a small ribbon, and the wider part of the triangle, since it's below, is going to give me more full saturation of that color. If I flipped it around the other way, it would become a little bit more blocky. I want more of a ribbon effect. I want it to look dimensional, but still soft. Okay, so we're gonna start in the back quadrants. Anytime I'm toning hair or going darker, I always start in the back and work my way forward. So this is for her base shadow. I'm just gonna put a small amount, like a 1/2 inch, and I'm just gonna outline the one quadrant I'm working on first. Remember, I'm taking triangular shape sections, so first I'm putting my base. It's like a triangle, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm gonna go in with one of my dimensional colors. Then I'm going to just blend those two together. So I'm blending the shadow with the midtone. I'm just going to take a piece of foil and lay this across. This way it doesn't make any marks on the rest of the hair. Again, take another section and see this one's a little bit more irregular. Base. Again, running this from the middlings to the ends, and then I'll blend the two together. Lay that across. Don't worry about if these two touch, it's gonna be fine. Okay, another triangle shape. And use base. Blend. With a base.